All right, so I just got done watching a Gary Vee video, and if you're like me, you probably have an interest of some sort to just overall marketing, social media ads, and just advertisement overall. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is part of the conversations that Gary Vee was having. Also, just came from the America Business Forum, and they were also talking a little bit about marketing, especially with Patrick Bet-David. Shout out to Patrick Bet-David. And the concept was that executives are no longer consumer centric. And what does that mean? It's basically what Marty Neumeier in his book, what was it called? The Brand Flip, right? It's like if you want to read any book on marketing this year, please just pick up this book on how to basically make stuff consumer based more so than anything else, where consumers actually make more of your business more so than anything else. Why is that important? The fact that executives are no longer consumer centric means that there's a huge opportunity for businesses that are currently obsessed about their clients. I'll give you an example. Like Zappos was super consumer centric. Amazon was consumer centric. A bunch of different companies, like Fortune 500 companies, like unicorns right now, are absolutely consumer centric. That's why they're at the the Fortune 500 company designation. So what I'm mainly trying to say out of all of this, especially because executives are no longer consumer centric on the Fortune 500 mark, I would say if you're a content creator, if you're somebody that makes videos, that does pictures, that makes content online just for fun, and you have some sort of entrepreneurial spirit, I would say focus on your viewer and you will win. The reason being is because your ideal viewer, your ideal client avatar, your ideal person in your life that you're trying to provide value to are always looking for something new that will spark their fancy. And if you're always sparking their fancy based off of the videos that you can make, you're going to win over the other Fortune 500 companies that are spending millions of dollars with consulting agencies, literally trying to tell them like, hey, you should probably post more on social media. Which is a huge opportunity for a bunch of different content creators or anybody that have a creative bone in their body. I say for anybody who is roughly in the creative art forms transitioning into entrepreneurship, just like myself, from the music realm to entrepreneurship, otherwise something else to entrepreneurship, I suggest you double down on the fact that you're actually have a creative bone in your body and start to make a bunch of content. And I mean, I've talked about this in great detail in a previous video that I put out talking about the content creators that know the mechanisms or the strategies as far as what works online will win. But in the sense, it's like what you need to be doing, and I'll explain this in a different video, what you need to be doing as a content creator these days is acting like a mad scientist. Like every business should be operating from the perspective of willing to post 10 to 15 times a day on every single platform. So essentially 10 to 15 posts, but you're essentially posting to every platform via third-party software or doing it manually by paying somebody. Reason being is because quantity will always outperform quality. I'll say that again. Quantity will always outperform quality. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how good the thumbnail is. I don't care how good the title is. Quantity will always outperform quality. Because you see that with any business, like literally over the past 20, 30 years, they've had to do some sort of exponential action in order to get an exponential result, and that's never and that's never going to change. Because the fact is, it's just like if you're willing to put in more hours than everybody else in comparison, more often than not, people are going to see your videos. Like right now, I'm posting twice a freaking day, my guys, twice a freaking day. Because before I used to post once a day, and it's all low effort videos. And that's okay. I might not get 1 million views right now, but you bet your ass in a year I'm going to get 1 million views at least on one video if I'm posting more than 700 videos in a year. You know what I'm saying? So my thing for everybody is that you should take this opportunity, being that executives are no longer consumer centric. They're more so concerned about competition based. And I'll say that again. Executives are more obsessed with competition rather than their consumer, which is kind of crazy, right? Because you build a business in order to help people. At least as a Christian, you know what I'm saying? You're out here operating in the labor of love, you know what I'm saying? But for other people, that's not necessarily at the forefront of their mind. So therefore, if their competitor based or competitor centric. They're always looking over their shoulder, looking at their competitors and being like, what are they doing over there? Maybe we should do it and do it better, this, that, and whatever. But that might not be what the consumer wants. Right? Which is crazy to me that even Fortune 500 companies are literally operating this way. Which is why it's a great opportunity for everybody who's making content to literally just go out of your own way to help out your client. Make sure that you're providing a kick-ass service, a kick-ass product, a kick-ass customer service department in your company. Wouldn't it be cool for somebody to tell you as a business owner that your business kicks ass? I'll give you an example. So there was one time I was literally having an issue because somebody was stealing my identity, right? Like somebody was basically making charges on my business credit card of $200. They tried to do it twice, and then American Express was like, nah, son, you ain't gonna do that today. Not today. Not today, devil. Anyway, they were basically trying to do multiple transactions, $200 each on my American Express card. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, well, like any right-minded person would do, they would call American Express and be like, hey, I didn't make these transactions. Could you help me out here? And guess what they did? They were like, okay, run me down the situation. I told them the situation. And then all of a sudden, they basically tell me, hey, so what we're going to have to do is that we're going to have to send you an all-new card with a different security code and a different expiration date. Is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, of course that's okay. Then they were like, okay, where can we send it to? And it's like, but I'm on a business trip right now. I'm like literally at California. Like I'm not even in Miami anymore. Like I'm not going to be in Miami for like another month. I literally just got to freaking Los Angeles, right? And they said, no problem. We can send you a new one next week. Is Wednesday okay? And we're like, yeah, of course Wednesday's okay. Can I send it to an Airbnb, thinking that they're not going to say yes? And they say, yeah, of course we can send it to an Airbnb. Just let them know that you're going to get the American Express card via an American Express parcel with the American Express logo. That's consumer-centric, bro. That is going to keep me for a long time. That's going to keep anybody for a really long time. And I'll use an example that isn't even my own. So like in the Zappos world, right? If you know, Zappos is literally roughly a shoe selling company that basically made Amazon into $1 billion company because they literally got bought out by Amazon. And what happened was that they were, I think the owner or the founder was out with like the board, like the chief suite essentially, like going to get some pizza in a completely different city from the HQ of Zappos. And they were just like, dang, we don't know where to get any pizza. Hold up, let me make a call. So the CEO, I think it was the CEO, Tony Zhang, I think is his name, comes from the story comes from, I want to say, Delivering Happiness. Here it is. Delivering Happiness. I got you. This book. Buy this book if you want to learn how to give amazing customer service. Oh, it's Tony Tsai, my bad, not Tony Zhang. Anyway, but he basically makes a call and he goes like, hey, what's up? And it's a Zappos rep. And it's just like, what? Okay, awesome. Hey, by the way, this is Tony Zai, or, somebody within the company. I don't know where to go as far as to get really good pizza. Could you give me some recommendations? And then the lady on the representative phone was just like, okay, interesting request. Hold on, give me a second. Then she basically calls him back roughly like 5 minutes. He's like, hey, there's literally 4 different places in the nearby area where you're at. Do you want a reservation in one of the pizza places? This is like, okay, I want a reservation in this place. It's like, okay, I got you a reservation at 8 p.m. Click. That's amazing. That's like literally shooting for the stars type of service. I don't know about you, but I don't think Fortune 500 companies, at least the executives, are thinking about that. I think they're thinking about their competitors and what their competitors are doing and how they can show up on the market. But you as a content creator, if you're making content about the product or service you sell, or the fact of the matter of like what the company is about and what they believe in, what's their mission statement, and you do it better than the Fortune 500 companies, especially when they don't even have the capacity to do that, but not because they don't have the money for it, but they don't have the talent, right? Because marketing is also consumer-based, right? If you take care of your consumer with marketing, sales takes literally low effort, so much less effort in comparison to when you don't have marketing situated together, especially with a video that's not authentic and doesn't resonate with the audience. So I say all that to say that executives are no longer consumer centric. So that leaves a huge opportunity for all the content creators that are super obsessed with giving kick-ass customer service. And they won, so why can't you? Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Make sure to like and subscribe because I put videos out like this every single day and you don't want to miss them. Otherwise, if you're a contracting service or just any business that needs an appointment setting system on autopilot and you need some help in order to figure that out, you can literally set up a call in the first link in the description and we can see how we can help you in any capacity. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.